Hello, this is the premiere of HEC Startup Vision TV Perspectives Talks. The purpose of Perspectives is to bring a focus on one topic to understand the sector, the users, and propose a deep analysis with experts. Today, we will talk about assistance, and in particular, assistance to specific industries. With us today, Marc Prempain, co-founder and CEO of Vibe, Martinez, in charge of innovation at RATP Group, and Alexander Michael from Frost&Sullivan. So hello, Marc. Vibe is a provider of web technology for remote assistance designed for technical support and after-sales services.
Hello, Florence. Yes, indeed. Thank you very much for having me.
And Marine, RATP is an international mobility group which launched its Accelerator in 2019 to prepare the future of mobility. RATP is an international transportation group with more than 16 million passengers transported per day only in the Paris area. Hello, Marine.
Hello everybody.
And Alexander, you are at the head of the digital transformation consulting business in Europe at Frost&Sullivan, a company defining itself as a global growth partnership company. Hello, Alexander.
Hello, thank you for having me on your program.
So Alexander, I stay with you. Frost&Sullivan organizes the Best Practices Award and granted Vibe with the Best Practices Enabling Technology Leadership Award in the remote assistance space. Can you tell us why?
Yes, absolutely. Now, if we deconstruct the award a little bit, right, it's the Enabling Technology Leadership Award. And what's so brilliant about Vibe is really that it enables so many unique positive outcomes for an organization's customers effectively. Now, the concept of remote assistance is, pretty straightforward, and Vibe is not the only technology provider in the remote assistance space, but there's something about the kind of the breadth of use cases that Vibe enables and the great number of very real challenges that Vibe can address that just blows me away. And, it's almost like Marc and his co-founder foresaw the COVID crisis when they launched Vibe. What was it, 4 years ago, Marc? And I know that isn't possible, right? But it is just impressive how many of the use cases that Vibe powers that have proven valuable, that if you will, keeping the lights on during COVID, the ability to continue to offer a useful customer experience, to offer an effective customer service journey, despite everything that COVID threw at us. And I think the 2021 zeitgeist is very much that no one is impressed by technology just for technology's sake, right? People want to know what technology will do for them, specifically in detail. How will technology make things better? And I think Vibe captures that perfectly.
That's why I wanted to ask Marc, because it's important to define assistance. So Marc, you have clients in different sectors: insurance, mobility, construction, etc. What is your competitive advantage?
Yes. So before talking about the different sectors that we now address, let's go back to our roots and the main history behind our foundation. So Charles and I wanted to optimize public emergency in the first place. In other words, guarantee French citizens access to the right care in one click. And for that reason, that's the reason that we've developed the platform exclusively web-based. Our objective was to make it accessible for whoever, whenever, wherever, on any device. So that's why we really stress the accessibility model in order to erase all the friction in the accessibility, basically. So this is definitely the way we managed to penetrate the market. During our first year, we managed to convince Bouygues, but also Total. They were really interested in this new model and this new accessibility model. Because when it turns to digital transformation, it's really important for users to access the platform really easily with simplicity and ergonomy. And this is really what we focused on in the first place. Then once you have your first customers, it's really important to spend time with the users in order to develop a better product market fit. And collaborating with Total, we focused and we identify another key problematic. It's not only how do I optimize collaboration from a distance between two collaborators, it's also how do I make sure that I connect the right collaborators in real time for a given problem. And we managed to solve that issue by developing our routing system. So the routing system is a way to create different groups, competencies, so that when a technician, a field engineer encounter an issue, he can actually auto-route his query to a particular group of competency. And we've seen that working at a global scale, on top of organizational mode, and helping technicians, not reaching out to someone who doesn't know about this issue, but routing the query to the right people. So the first accessibility mode, without download, at the initiative of the expert, sending a link to the technicians, was the first competitive advantage. And then later on, during our second, even third year, we finalized this routing system. And now it's completely done in terms of accessibility. It can be either ways from the expert, but also now we change the paradigm and the technicians can also access the platform and the right expertise super fast. And I think this is what makes one of the biggest difference now for Vibe nowadays.
Yeah, so let's go to Marine. RATP uses the services of Vibe. Why did you choose them as part of the Accelerator first and then as a partner?
Thank you, Florence. I will start with a quick presentation of the RATP Startup Program, and then I will go into the details of the collaboration with Vibe. So the RATP Startup Accelerator Program is a 6-month business support program that provides mentorship, networking, and the playground field in our business unit. The idea is to go beyond the POC and be able to generalize a solution or service in our transport network. We choose strategic topics for the company to focus our efforts on impactful partnerships with startups. This is why we are looking for mature startups or not too early stage with business references and thus able to scale up on our network or an international subsidiary. And Vibe meets these criteria perfectly. That is why we decide to support them through the Accelerator program and to offer them large-scale development potential for their services. We believe that startups will help us improve the service we provide to our customer every day, invent new businesses, and transform the way we work. It is this case. By using Vibe solution, we reduce the amount of travel of our maintenance agents, and we are making their work easier. So RATP uses Vibe to support field agents in maintenance, repair, and inspection operation for all the equipment and spaces in the Paris region network.
Yes, it's very interesting, in fact, to see what happens on the field. So, Marc, let's talk about the technology and your product roadmap behind all this.
Yes, absolutely. So, again, I mentioned the different key differentiators which help us penetrate the market during our early days. But in the SaaS industry, speed is actually your biggest competitive advantage. So that's why we really put our attention in our product roadmap that we actually co-construct with our users. And the way we forecast the future of video assistance, it's actually no video assistance. And what I mean by that is that we try to capitalize on expert interventions that are actually stored on Vibe ticketing platform, knowledge management. We have the ability to classify, organize all the interaction on Vibe. So basically, if you have an agent, to get back to Marine's point, if you have an agent on the field, reaching out to an expert, the expert send a Vibe link back. Once they are, in the process of solving the problem, you will have lots of knowledge distributed by the expert. The idea is to capitalize on it. This quintessence, we try to extract it in order to make sure that we can construct a solid tutorial base so that later on, maintenance agents can actually not reach out to an expert, but look through semantic recognition. What happened, maybe this problematic already occurred, and let me check if I can see the procedure to follow by myself. So the idea is to actually promote self-service making sure that maintenance agents can solve issues on their own based on prior experiences and prior expert explanations. So this is where we are going. And in order to do so, we are establishing a partnership with Research Public Institute here in France in order to deploy a new machine learning system, filtering the data and making sure that we offer maintenance agents access to the right information, the right protocol procedure in real time without the need for escalation.
So Alexander, before a sudden acceleration that we just saw, assistance has been a slow process of adoption.
Yeah, so kind of remote assistance has always existed, right? Like 40 years ago, Marines engineers might have used the radio to obtain a kind of remote assistance. But what's really the game changer here, and Vibe does that, is the application of visual engagement to that. Now, visual engagement applied to a remote assistance situation is one in which a video feed is added to a thought-through, well-designed customer journey that protects privacy and that solves a specific problem. And that is a real game changer. And I think the future of it is that it becomes applied to a lot of additional use cases, like in finance, in insurance, customer onboarding, training, reviewing financial portfolios, because it adds a level of trust between the person seeking assistance and the agent delivering that assistance. So it's not just the Generation Z that's keen on this. If you consider that video tutorials are available for absolutely everything, right? People are used to this. And when we say that the best customer experience is one that doesn't happen, because either the problem just gets solved in the background, or there's a tutorial available for someone to self-serve, which people absolutely love, right? And this applies to everyone. So kind of, if you consider Marc's focus on knowledge management, which is one of the things that we are so impressed by, because it really makes video interactions that are taking place available to everyone in the future as kind of a gigantic FAQ knowledge base. And that's really clever.
Yeah, I think Marc wants to add something.
Yes, indeed. Thank you, Florence. And thank you for your comment, Alexander. Just bouncing on what you explained between the difference between Zoom and Vibe. And it's really underlying the difference between video conference, which has been quite popular during the past few years, but the emerging video assistance systems. And as Alexander underlined, it's completely different. The use cases are different, the features are as well. And this is what people are really recognizing now and acknowledging. And as I said, we actually gained 3 years of evangelization in 2 months with COVID. Now people realize that on the field, we don't use Teams, we don't use Zoom, but we use more dedicated software crafted for field operations. And I think this is a great movement on the market, and Vibe is here to accompany it.
So I would like to go on the global scale now. Marc, Vibe is an international company working with big corporations, as we saw. How do you see your company scaling up in the future?
Mm-hmm. So now, indeed, we operate in a bit more than 70 countries following the expansion and the international deployments within our existing partners and historical partners. In terms of scaling up, actually, to what Marvin said, was the acceptance. The acceptability and the adoption on the field is key for scaling and not only being containerized with the POC phase. And in order to do so, we've developed the Vibe Academy. The Vibe Academy is a way for us to onboard our users autonomously. They can find out all the questions they may have about our platform in a simple click, in a simple semantic research, excuse me. So we really developed that platform with attention in order to help them getting on board and use the platform in accordance with their needs. So that's first thing in order to scale, because RATP, there is a huge potential globally. It's more than 10,000 maintenance agents. So at some point, it would be impossible for our team to train everybody. And that's why the Vibe Academy is there to help everyone use the platform the right way. Then in terms of scaling up, the idea also is to make sure that we promote self-service. Self-service, as Marine said, it's something really important so that there is a general acceptance within the company. And for that reason, we focus on knowledge management, and we actually help operators raise competencies on their own. And this is a point that I tackled just earlier. And we will stress on this point, making sure that people don't think that the knowledge is actually deported within the expertise centers, but the knowledge is actually accessible in one click through the data generated on Vibe interactions. And that way, we plan on scaling to all these maintenance agents, not only equipping the experts on their own.
So Marine, RATP is an international group operating 20% of the London bus transportation system, the Washington tramway, etc. Is the concept of assistance the same in different locations?
Yes, like you said, the RATP group is present in many countries, 13 to be precise, and can help international networks. For example, RATP Dev, our international development subsidiary, had just won in Egypt the operation of line 3 of the Cairo Metro. Our engineers could tomorrow train local teams remotely, at least in a part, and it is a way of facilitating the transfer of skills.
So, Alexander, you are a global company in over 45 cities around the world, focusing on growth. How do you see growth in the area of assistance?
We expect gigantic growth, already within the next 2 years. And I think what is fueling it is that companies are focusing on their customer experience and on their user experience as their primary differentiator. It's a bit like, we're saying this is the fourth industrial revolution, right? And it's not really about individual products anymore. They all look the same, they all cost the same, they're all available everywhere. What you can still differentiate is the customer experience. And so we see a gigantic interest in investing in technology that manages the customer experience and the customer journey. Now, one of the very real challenges that organizations are dealing with right now is anxiety, not because of COVID, but because organizations have realized that when customers are anxious, or the more anxious customers are, the more they tend to gravitate towards traditional voice channels that are more expensive to serve, right? So if you can take anxiety, if you can take friction out of customer journeys, then people are more relaxed, people are happier, and ultimately there is a better experience for everyone, and also a lower cost to serve. Everybody loves it. And so we're seeing, in contact centers, organizations that invest in remote assistance technology, like they have 3-figure percentage ROIs. The payback times are really, really short. And I think that's what it's all about. Everyone loves it. Customers love it. Agents love it. Finance directors love it. There are really no losers here.
So, Marc, you grew up in part at the HEC incubator at Station F. Can you tell us the importance of such an organization behind you, and what was the most important?
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, we had the opportunity to be selected at HEC incubator. So that was a great day, definitely. Definitely help us raise competencies as entrepreneurs, but also refine our product. We received lots of advice, tips from different consultants from the community. It also helped us reach out to our first customers. So that was definitely helpful, undeniably. Also, you mentioned Station F. Station F is the world's biggest startup campus. And this is where we really tighten our relationship with our key partners nowadays, such as Microsoft Dynamics specifically, and Zendesk. So we were actually within their teams, within their accelerator programs, and that really helped us integrate our platform within theirs. And now we have partnership, co-selling partnership We address common customers such as Decathlon, which is one of our emblem with Zendesk. Decathlon has been using Vibe and Zendesk for more than 2 years, and it has been really profitable for them in the context of lockdown and confinement. And everything is thanks to HEC and Station F overall.
That's great. Marine, RATP is working with the MIT to become the partner of the cities of the future. It's the whole concept of smart cities. What is next for a group like yours?
Indeed, we are working with the MIT on the smart curbs. This corresponds to the analysis of the urban environment with the help of artificial intelligence in order to gain fine knowledge of the subject and to optimize its use. Today, the curbs, that's a term that encompasses the roadway and the sidewalk, are under increasing pressure. Understanding its uses has become a strategic issue for transport companies. This experiment is a unique opportunity for RATP as a world leader in sustainable and connected urban mobility to establish itself as a preferred partner of smart cities by developing new innovative urban tools. When it comes to AI in RATP, there are 3 major issues to keep in mind. First, optimizing traffic management. Second, improving traveler information. And third, enhancing safety. We are also working on new physical assistance technologies, such as robotics, cobotics, and exoskeleton. We have integrated the startup EasyBot into the Accelerator program, which has developed an articulate arm that supports 10 kilos of load and which should facilitate a sending operation and erasing tags and graffiti. This kobo alleviates the arduousness of the task and prevents musculoskeletal disorders. This is also an opportunity to pave the way for a feminization of the maintenance job.
Yeah, I love this concept of exoskeleton that we talked about previously, because it helps, you know, having, like you just said, women on the job and, you know, not only strength, but also knowledge. And it's really a great opportunity, really.
Yes.
And so you raised 1.2 million euros in 2019. So what's next for Vibe?
So we keep on recruiting the best talents. In 2020, we doubled the size of the team, and we plan to double it again this year, which is quite a task, to be honest. Then, as we mentioned, of course, we need to scale, making sure that we equip every technicians, every engineers, maintenance agents at our historical partners. We have, for example, more than 30,000 users to equip at total, globally. As we mentioned earlier, 10,000 maintenance agents at RATP. So this is one of our main goals, making sure that we equip all these people at a global scale. Then we also plan to enhance our integration within Zendesk, Dynamics, or also IBM, for example, in order to facilitate adoption. Indeed, those integrations facilitate adoption for end users, experts, because our platform is actually integrated through a smart, discrete button in their existing system. So it makes it much easier to think about it and to actually trigger a Vibe call rather than switching from one platform to another one. So that's why we keep on working on this development and the integration to refine them and making sure that we are available on any type of IT ecosystems. And last but not least, AI, in order to bring our knowledge management platform to a next level and once again promote self-service within agent basis.
Thank you so much, everyone, for participating in this debate. Thank you, Marine. Thank you, Alexander.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Florence. Thank you, everyone.